Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning leap session for Thursday, October the 27th. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live sessions to put together our trade plan for the day. We look at the market macro to micro, look at the structure of the market, and then we determine what our trade hypotheses are. We create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us. This is a subscription service, so if you're interested in checking us out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no blog, there's no website. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live in this go-to in the pre-market session, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the RTH session. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at the news. We had core durable goods came out as expected, 0.2. Unemployment claims beat slightly. Expected 261, previous 260 came out at 258. Core durable goods came in at 0.1, expected at 0.1. So, really not, not a big beat, but not a big miss either. 10 o'clock we have pending homes sales. 10:30 we've got natural gas, and then we've got news coming out of Tokyo tonight in Japan. So not a lot of news there. We do have one of the biggest earnings day today. We had Twitter, Ford, Celgene, UPS, LendingTree, Nokia, a lot, and most of them are not bad. Got some small, shrinkage in terms of growth, but most of them are. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. The big news, of course, will be after the market tonight. We've got the heavy hitters showing up. We've got Amazon, Alphabet, Google, Baidu, LinkedIn, Expedia, Yamada, Amgen. So a lot of big names after the market today. So just be aware of that, that they'll be reporting after the market closes. So it should be somewhat explosive into the Globex session tonight. Let's take a look at the market macro to micro. I like to start my day with a monthly. I use a 9 EMA, a 20 SMA, simple candlestick chart. What I'm looking for is where we are in terms of the trend in each time frame. I'm looking for slope and separation for the strength of the trend, where the trend is being violated or challenged. Multi-year upward trend on the monthly, end of 15, beginning of 16, they challenged it. Then we've taken it back. We have a possible falling 3 setting up on the monthly, but right now we have a trend intact and in place. We're holding above the 9 and the 20, so the trend is intact on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see that we are in this compression and right in the middle of a MA squeeze, MA hug, and we should look for a breakout in either direction, but right now there's no real trend on the weekly. On the daily, same thing. We're in this big symmetrical triangle, and we're compressing coming into the election, and nothing seems to be able to break us out. And again, same as the weekly, we're basically in this MA squeeze, and no real clear direction, but we are holding above the 9 and the 20 right now. Going to the intraday, we are again in this consolidation pattern, just chopping around here. This is a bit of a upward channel on this. So we are holding in the small upward channel. We're above the 9 and the 20, but again, it's really not a real strong trend right now, although we are above the 9 and the 20 right now, and off of this news, and making new Globex high. We just put in a new Globex high at 43. Going to the 1 hour, starting to see a bit of a trend. We get a little bit of a technical gap going on here, so we might get a pullback, but the trend is to the upside on the 1 hour. Going down to the 30-minute, you can see that that trend is strengthening, and we're getting a bit of a parabolic move here on the 30-minute, again creating a bit of a technical gap, but the trend is up. And then on the 15-minute, you can see that more clearly. And the price is not, is paralleling the 9 kind of nicely. A little bit of a technical gap, but showing strength of the move to the upside. Ken, we're going to be coming up to a very important level, our inflection point, our key line in the sand, which is that 44.50. We have to keep an eye on that. We'll take a look at that when we get to the composite. And finally, last but not least, on the 5-minute, you can see that they just keep stair-stepping this up, move up, backfill, move up, backfill, move up, backfill, move up. Trend is very much intact on the 5-minute. I don't know if we have any naked crosses here. Let me just see. We do have a naked cross right here up at 46.25 on the 5-minute. That's about the only one that, let me just check the 15-minute as well. No, that one got taken out. So that's about it on the 5-minute. All right, so let's take a look at the composite. You can see that we're coming up into this 43.75, 44. I put a 2-day microcomposite here because I wanted to see where we were when we broke out of this balance down here in this value area that lasted for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. When we broke out and we tried to hold above the value, what was the most traded price? The microcomposite VPOC is right at the inflection point, 44.75. Then we failed to hold. We came down back into this this value area and came down and tested, the value area low of this longer time frame that starts from the breakout of this value on the 9th, and that had the microcomposite in around the 35 and the value area low down at the 25.75, and then the even longer time frame microcomposite, its value area we tested to the downside. Now we've made basically a 20-point move off of that. And we're coming up into this this very important inflection of that 43.75. If we can get above the 44.50, I'm looking for that continuation up. Right now, we do have a zipper measured move. We put one in going into the Globex last night. This one right here, and it measured up to what was it? It measured up to 36.50 and on primary, 38.75 on extended, and we hit that, and then we just put in a new zipper right here with a measured move up to the 45.75 and the 49.25. So based on this move, and this is not violated until we get below the 30.50, based on this, we should get a move into that longer time frame microcomposite VPOC up here into the 53 today. And whether they do it today or tomorrow or next week, we don't know. But right now, until we get below the 30.50, which basically takes us back down, right down and around here, this measured move is showing that we're going to get into the 45s and to the 48s, and most likely a continuation up into this distribution and the longer term microcomposite VPOC, which is up here at the 53. In terms of levels to keep an eye out, if we fail off of the 43, 44 area, the first target is going to be the value area high and the CHVN, which is centered around that 40.50. We seem to keep coming back to that level. You see we got overlapping value area highs and lows in that area, and continues to be an inflection point. I have to just check something here for a second. Sorry. My sensitivity needs to be adjusted. And there we go. I think it's going to be a battleground right here. We could get stuck in these wicks right here today if we fail to get above 43. So let's take a look at what's happened overnight. Overnight we have had OTF participation since Europe opened. I was expecting a bigger move off of the news because of this participation, but it really hasn't played out that way. We opened up last night, and we sort of chopped around and we went down and we hit the 28.50. We did not get below the 27.25, which was the start of that measured move into the Globex, and then we finally went up and took out those two targets once Europe opened up. Then we failed, came right back down into balance, and then we started working our way back up, and we're just stair-stepping up into that 43.75 area, 44. We've got naked crosses up at 47. Naked VPOCs up at 47. We put in a triple distribution day, which is basically what we had here yesterday, and basically if you look at the globe, I'm sorry, this is the Globex. If you look at yesterday, the CHVN was 38 in this upper distribution, and 38.50 in the Globex. So we basically have extended another distribution, okay, up in this area. Our overnight high is likely to get taken out. We've been doing this a lot lately as we keep coming in to the Globex and putting in new Globex highs near the RTH Open. So I expect the overnight high to get extended right now. I'm going to put it in for the time being, so we've got a reference point right now, and the overnight low is not likely to be taken out down at the 28.50. We could get a VPOC shift, but we are currently right now, we've got a VPOC all the way down at 32. That's below the midpoint in the VWAP, and the VWAP, we stole the VWAP, we stole the VPOC into the close yesterday, shifted all the way from the 27.50 up into the 33.50 yesterday. We have a CLVN at the 40.50. That's right at the range high from the prior day, so that's going to be an important level for us. Of course, if we stay above that 40, we're going to have a gap up. We had a gap down. We had a gap down yesterday, and took the gap back, and now we're going to gap above the prior day and get back into this upper distribution from Tuesday. Sorry, my sinuses are going crazy this morning. I'm going to sneeze. Of course, this 45.50 is going to be important. The key line in the sand is really 44.50, but because we've got this upper distribution, we've got to shift it up into the 45.75. Based on our 20-period daily, that's running at 1988, so taking off the low at 28.50, 1988, that puts our upside ATR target at 48.25. Our downside, we just put in a new Globex high. What was it? 43.75. And again, it's likely to continue to just walk up, but 2143.75 minus the 1988. Our downside daily ATR is 2123.75. which puts us below yesterday's low, which I don't think we're going to take out. So my main hypothesis is going to be a open auction out of range up into this overnight high regardless, because it's the more likely of the two to get taken out. We have a 40, 50, and then we have a target at the 38.50, which is the upper distribution HVN from the triple distribution yesterday, as well as the value area high and the HVN from the triple distribution overnight. Really weird looking profiles. And then we have this LVN to deal with at 35. You can see that we've got one here at 36. So it's between 35.75 and the value area high and the range low from the Tuesday. This is going to be a very important level to hold. And I think this is going to be a key line in the sand below, or at least a warning line. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it's going to determine whether or not we get continuation up into that 53 or fail and come right back down into balance. Remember that 35 is also the microcomposite VPOC of the balance that we're trying to break out of right now and move higher. Then down here, the target is going to be 34, which is our close. Our close is 33.75, so I'm targeting that naked close at 33.75 with the naked VPOC one tick below that. So anything below 35 and a quarter, I think you got a good shot at getting down into the 33s. And then we've got an LVN down here at 32, which also happens to be the overnight VPOC. And then anything below 32, I'm looking for the overnight low to get taken out and move back to this target down here at the 27.50. And I think that is going to give us direction into the end of the week. Our weekly ATR to the downside is all the way down at the 2102.50. And our weekly upside ATR is up in the 72.50. So we've got a lot of repair up here, and we have some repair below, but right now I think anything above this 35, and especially if we get above this key line in the sand above, we get a move up into our next big target above, which is the 53. So that really is all the information I need from the overnight, unless we go out and put a new Globex high in. I think that's all the information. Whoops. Yeah. Let me move this down, move this up. And taking a look at the completing levels below, obviously we've got a value area low, and I think our weekly low is down there as well. Let me just check that to make sure. Our weekly low is 24.75, which is yesterday's low. So I used the value area from yesterday, but I'll really be watching this 24.75, and then if we get below that, I'm looking for a bigger move down. So those are all the levels that we have to really pay attention to. Triple distributions are not as easy to trade as a double distribution, but they do offer clear price rejections and price acceptance, so that you can play these low volume nodes and get a pretty good probability of the move into the HVNs and know where you're wrong quickly. So we are going to open up. There's not much to look at to the upside. We've got the 48 as a value area high for these 2 days, and then there's really not much. There's the 55 and a quarter. Then we have that 59 with the 60.75 target with 62, and then we're getting into this area, and anything above this 66, that's what I'm expecting to make a bigger move up and come up into the 70s, and all these naked depots and naked closes, and then the unadjusted all-time highs, the December at 85 and the September at 91.50. So we've got to worry about a gap and go, a open drive or open test drive. We are going to have a gap. So currently right now, if we open up at 42.75 plus the close at 33.75, our approximate mid to the gap close is 38.50. 38 and a quarter. I'm going to use 38.50 because we don't know if it's going to be 42.75 or 43. So I'm just going to put target and half gap fill. Of course, we've got the range gap here down at 40, so we are going to create a gap. So I'm looking for an open auction, outer range, a move down, and either bouncing off of the 40-50 area, or coming in and coming into the upper distribution. But I'm really expecting to find initiative buyers somewhere between the 40-50 area and 35, and then rotate up through, chop around at our key line in the sand, which we've moved up at 45.75. Watch the 44.50 anyway. Chop around here and then push up into our upside daily ATR target, and a move up into the 53 and start chopping around and close somewhere in this upper distribution here. Maybe a late day push into the 59. This could be a gap and go day, so my hypothesis number 2 is an open drive, a push up, take out the overnight high, a chop around in the 45 area, and then push through into the 53, and then chop there and get a late day probe up into the 59, maybe even into the 62 and a quarter area. It's not, it's not a real high probability, but we are going to gap up again. So hypo 2 is an open drive or an open test drive, failing to get inside of the prior day range, push up, chop around in the 45 to 48, and then get up into the 53, chop around there, and then push through up into the 60s and give us a trend day gap and go. Hypo 3 is an open auction in range, failure to get above the 45.75, come down, chop in the 40 area, push through, test this 35 and get failure, and a push down into the lower distribution of the triple distribution and close somewhere down here in the 20s. Maybe even a late day probe down into the 2050. So hypo 3 is open auction, failure to get above the 45.75, come down, chop around in the 40 area or the upper distribution, come down, fail on the 35, and come down and push down through into the lower 20s. So those are my 4 main hypotheses. The fifth hypothesis is simply a failure to get above the 45, and we chop between the 35 and the 45 area, and we just start getting stuck in these this wick right here and chopping around as we clearly define this lower distribution here. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.